Happy Friday!
Hi!
Yay! It's time for another episode of 5-Minute-ish FriYAY.
Yes.
And yes, yes it is. And today we are talking to you guys about the psychology of color. Is right. So this goes into our kind of series where we've been talking about branding for the past several weeks, a little over a month now, that we've been diving into the world of branding and all of the different aspects and considerations to make when you're developing a brand for your business or nonprofit. So we wanted to talk about the psychology of color.
Yes.
And how that plays into developing that brand and choosing who you're talking to and how you're projecting yourself.
Right. Especially if you're in a consumer purchasing, selling sort of type of business as well.
Right. So color comes into play. Now, before we dig into some of the different facts and figures and thoughts on different colors and the emotions that they evoke, I just want to throw it out there. So if you've never thought about the psychology of color before, it's not an actual science. It's been talked about for a long time, but there are some factors that come into play that really limit it from being a true science. Exactly. So what's important to know that when we're talking about this, you still need to understand and take into consideration that depending on where you live in the world, what culture you're a part of, and what personal experiences have shaped your life, each individual is going to interpret color a little bit differently.
Correct.
So that's just kind of the preface,
the disclaimer
of sorts, is that we're not claiming that there is an exact science to this, or
that every answer is 100%. This is just kind of a rough estimate of what the majority is, at least for America.
Yeah. So we're talking in America, in our culture today, how might these colors be perceived, and how can you choose colors that really speak to your target audience? Now, when you're speaking to your target audience, it's important to know that color actually does play a pretty important role.
It does. It plays a really important role in selling a product. We have a rough estimate that 93% of people who make a purchase based off of the color, the feel, the look. What's that statement where it's like, don't judge a book by its cover? But a lot of times people buy the book or other products based off of what it looks like.
Exactly. So, while we advocate for not being judgy, that's generally how humans work. That's how we operate overall.
The visual component plays a very large role.
It's very important. And about somewhere, it's not an exact number here, but somewhere in the majority of shoppers, so 60 to 90%, report that they will make a snap judgment based on the influence of color. So that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, just stop and think about when you're going, and even going down an aisle sometimes, just stop and think, after you pick something up, think about it. Why did I just pick this up? Is the color? Is the feel?
Are there two different options, two different brands you can choose from? And why do you pick the one in front of you? If it's based off of, it might be familiarity, but it might be that you're like, ooh, I've always used this one, but the one in my other hand is just really eye-catching, and those colors make me feel calm or excited.
Or even choosing between two colors of shirts. It could be the same shirt, but why would you choose green versus black?
Yeah. So that's why color plays such a huge role in branding and marketing. Now, as far as the different colors and how they speak to your audience, we do want to touch a bit on how typically these different colors are interpreted by your audience. So there are kind of different dimensions or personalities that a brand can take on. and we've got a few to share with you, just to kind of get the juices flowing a little bit for you. So if you see a brand that really projects sincerity, being down to earth, or is really wholesome and honest, what would you associate? What colors would you associate with a brand like that?
Maybe like a green or maybe a blue.
Right, kind of a lighter hue, maybe, a very soft hue, or maybe even white, because of the honesty.
Right.
White typically refers back to
pure.
Right. Purity. Versus, let's go kind of in the opposite direction and talk about if you really want to get excitement from your audience, you know, those bold, vibrant, beautiful colors, or you want to come across as very imaginative or daring even.
I think of yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow is bold, it's happy. You know, I feel like it coordinates a lot with imagination and even kids as well.
Right.
That's kind of what I personally think of.
I think of really any kind of vibrant, jewel toned,
maybe even like
colors.
A purple or a hot pink.
Purples, pinks, oranges.
Ooh, orange.
I think our logo, that's what I was kind of going for with Create Captivate, was I want people to be very excited and feel lively and energetic, because we're lively and energetic.
It's true.
So I wanted that to come across in our logo colors as well. And one of my mentors, when I was rebranding, wanted me to go with, she was like, oh, you want to come across very professional, and so you really should choose maybe like a navy blue or a crimson, like a deep
Which
red.
are very professional colors.
Absolutely.
But side note, we stick out.
Yeah.
We're different.
Right. So she was like, no, a marketing company should have, and I was like, no. Like, that's great, and that makes sense for a lot of other people, but I have to stay true to who
yourself.
we are and our own values. So you can always kind of stray away from
the popular choices.
Absolutely. And you also kind of stand out in a good way in the mix. So
yes.
Now, as far as coming across as, you know, what I was talking about was she wanted those feelings of, you know, are you successful? Are you reliable? Are you highly intelligent? You're going to have some of those darker blues and deep reds, maybe, you know, into the maroon burgundy category. That kind of goes along too with a sophistication.
It's true.
So sophistication, though, what do you think of?
I think of black primarily. It's sleek, luxury, classy, even maybe like you said, a navy, sometimes even a red, even though it might be bold.
Right, but just in a small
subtle
dose,
way.
Maybe. Not like a big, like, boom in your face logo with it, but like little pops of that. But yeah, black and white is actually one of the most popular options for brands when you think of like high-end women's magazines.
Yes, or makeup. You know, even cars and car choices, but you know, it just gives that kind of luxury, sleek, the contrast between the colors for sure. It, you know, I mean, we could go all day as to why black and white is such a great option.
You know, it's that whole little black dress thing. I think it's it is
fits
timeless.
Good on everyone.
Exactly,
makes you look good.
It's timeless.
Yes,
it's classy. Yeah, that's a good choice if you want to come across that way to your audience. Now, this is the last dimension that we're going to kind of cover is ruggedness. So outdoorsy, tough.
Mud, dirt.
Mud and dirt. Muddy, dirty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything outdoorsy. If you're in the outdoors category at all.
Rugged.
You're probably going to go for those earth tones.
Yes.
The greens. The browns.
You know, like companies like John Deere and Land Rover.
Yep. So now we're going to give some kind of examples to show you some different companies that are using these, some really popular national companies that you've probably heard of.
And some kind of details that go along with those colors of why companies or brands choose those colors.
Right. So we'll go back and we'll start with white or black and white. So a couple of examples we've chosen here. The claw. I had to say it that way.
Sponsorships not included.
No, but if
These
you
are
want
not ads.
if you want to sponsor us, White Claw and MAC makeup, also another favorite of mine. These two fall into that category of black and white, of fresh and clean, of just
a modern feel. You know, the contrast between white and black, the luxury feel, they're sleek. Sometimes you definitely want to have good contrast when you choose a black, because if you have too much, it can be repulsive or bring on negativity and that sort of thing.
That's a good point. Yep. So
some good examples.
Some good examples of that. Let's go.
Especially when you're thinking about cars too. If you're thinking about cars, you know, a lot of people pick black because it's sleek, and even white because they're clean cut, their luxury feel.
Yeah, isn't white the most popular car color?
Yes.
I think so. So then we'll dig into, how about let's do red.
So red is obviously bold.
Who do you think of? I know who you think of. Target. Me too. TJ Maxx.
Yes. And companies usually pick red because it's bold, it's confident, it gives strong emotions. They say it increases appetite, as well as, you know, there's symbols for passion and love. But marketers actually love to use red for branding of a company because why?
Because it's really attention getting and
impulse buying, sense of urgency.
So think of
when you actually go into Target. Do you buy one thing?
Why? Well, that. And then why are clearance stickers always red? Because they're very eye-catching.
Fast, urgent.
Yeah, they give you that sense of like, ooh, this is going to go away soon if I don't snag this last one left.
Exactly. Or if you're in the clearance aisle, you don't pick one thing. You pick like 10 things because they're on clearance.
I always feel like I'm doing such a good job. Like, well, I got it on sale, but like,
then you show up at the same price.
20 things and spent just as much money if I would have bought one thing. One expensive thing. So, so let's move to blue. Now, when we're thinking about blue, there's various shades, of course. So we have examples like LinkedIn, professional,
trustworthy, office space, office in general.
There's some kind of correlation there between
productivity, getting things done, networking.
And then we have like some financial examples. So like JP Morgan. So it's that calmness, it's that trustworthiness,
sense of confidence,
dependability. So if someone's doing business with your money, that takes a lot of trust.
Yes.
Another one in that same realm is PayPal.
And PayPal's known all for having security, keeping your money tight. When you have purchases online, use them because they secure your account. No one can hack and steal your credit card information.
Yes. So next up, we have yellow. I came up with some kind of different ones for this. National Geographic. And then Post-it notes. Who doesn't love Post-it notes? I do.
I love Post-it notes.
We're both kind of
Post-it notes are always happy.
Also, if you want to sponsor Post-it notes, 3M, looking at you. So yellow, what does yellow say?
It's, you know, it's also bold, but it's happy, and they say yellow actually stimulates the mental process. That's why a lot of schools and children have yellow. They also say that it's the first color that infants can actually see.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
But it also springs on optimism and grabs attention in a window. So a lot of times, yellow, while there's red for clearance signs, there's also yellow for those sales.
Yep. And for these two, I feel like National Geographic is just a happy. I mean, they have such beautiful magazines to look at,
Photos.
and they're stunning photos,
Mhm.
and so it's just kind of like a happy good thing. I don't know if there's more meaning behind it for them than that. I would be really interested to learn though, actually. And then Post-it notes. Post-its are just fun.
Use a Post-it for everything.
Just like
Slap
all the different options they have.
It's true. They do have rainbow colors though.
Oh, they do.
They do. The next one we'll be moving on to is orange.
Orange. So of course, right off the top of my head,
Home Depot.
Home Depot. Maybe it's because I'm a homeowner and I pretty much live there.
But I feel like you see one everywhere. And the bright orange
right.
on the building and, even everywhere within the place.
Mm-hmm. It's all orange and white. Always orange and white.
Great branding.
It is
stuck to the colors.
It is really solid branding. It's an inviting, nice color.
And everyone's favorite.
If
you really want something.
If you Amazon, if you Amazon addicts out there, haven't noticed, yeah, Amazon has the little Amazon smile in the orange.
Yeah, and orange can mean enthusiasm. It can mean excitement. It can also mean caution. But it also, certain types of businesses will use it. Like the Home Depot, Amazon.
So a lot of retailers tend to use orange.
Some thrift stores as well.
We'll
move on to green.
So green.
Again, going back to the ruggedness in the outdoors.
Right, outdoors. Like you said earlier, Land Rover. So off-roading. Then we have a couple of different ones. So
yeah,
Whole Foods, because
green,
fresh,
refers back to growing nature.
Right. I mean, they even have the little leaf in there. So I feel like
eco-friendly.
It's eco-friendly. It's fresh. It's healthy.
Homegrown. Not literally, but
Right. And then this last one is interesting to me. Spotify has a green logo.
Because green can also signify, serenity and tranquility. And a lot of times people listen to music for enjoyment, relaxation. Spotify even has those white noises and relaxing sounds and everything like that too.
Yeah. So those are our examples. I hope you enjoyed that. We did. We had a fun time picking out which logos kind of are iconic and
learning all sorts of random facts too.
Right. So really when you're branding or you're working on continuing to reach out to your audience with your messaging and going back to how important it is to choose colors that really look nice together and to continually use the same ones over and over again. And then maybe considering a deeper thought of, well, if you're going to do a sale, maybe you do want to use yellow. Maybe you do want to use orange. If you're a particular kind of business, you might want to think about if you're going to rebrand someday, how could you stand out in the crowd? One thing we found, so while we were doing our research a little bit for this topic, was there's not a whole heck of a lot of huge companies with purple.
Nope.
Purple is probably one of the most underused logo colors.
We could only really find
a handful. A handful of purple.
Even then, the only two big ones were T-Mobile and Hallmark.
Yahoo and Hallmark. So there were just a few. Taco Bell was the other one that I thought of.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. So there's just a few purple, but purple is the #1 most favorite color of the average American female adult.
And it's the most understated.
So if you're trying to reach American adult women, consider purple, I guess. But we also kind of printed off here just like a little color sheet, just to kind of show you that, these are kind of the basic RGB colors. And there's just a ton of hues and shades and tones that you can go with.
Secondary colors, where it's
Right.
offshooting of two, like teal, it's green and blue.
Right, right. So color is just a really fascinating topic for us. We hope that you found it interesting and helpful as well. If you have any questions, be sure to shoot them down in the comment section below this video, and we'll be happy to help you out and answer your questions. Next week, we're going to be back with, what's the topic? I always forget. I always look at you.
Design, kind of your branding design type styles of what you can choose from.
Ooh, that's so fun. Okay, so get excited. Tune in next Friday. Hope you enjoyed this. Also, check out our events tab on our Facebook page here, and see we have some workshops and events coming up soon. So check those out, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.